It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 Dick, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Jeff Gluck and then David Poole. Go.
Jeff Gluck from NASCAR Scene. Jeff, earlier this week, Robin Pemberton said there wouldn't be any changes made to the car between now and next year. I know a lot of drivers and teams earlier in the season were hoping that NASCAR would give some leeway. Are you okay with them holding firm on how the car is now?
His statement was there'd be no changes to the car between now and the end of the year.
Just next year, there won't be any changes. Right.
There won't be any changes next year. I certainly don't think they should make any changes during the year. I think that throws a curveball at us that isn't fair. I do believe that we have to remain open-minded to the ability to improve everything we do. The car, pit road procedures, whatever. I mean, I think we have to remain open-minded to doing what we can to make racing the best it can be, as fair as it can be, those kind of things. There has been a concerted effort by NASCAR to minimize the changes that the teams are having to deal with, because we do have a history of making so many changes that it's very difficult to ever get a center and to ever get a real baseline on what it is that you're dealing with. So, you know, I used to cut spoiler heights off. I mean, you'd go to a race and they'd put a notice out they're going to cut the spoiler height off, and so all the aerodynamic testing you'd done, all the stuff you'd done, you had to start over. So in many ways, I'm a proponent of minimizing changes. At the same time, I think we have to be careful to say, you know what, if something comes up at the right time that we believe will make the cars better, we will be open-minded at that, rather than just saying, you know, no changes. It is important to note that we are in the process today of preparing equipment for next year. And if a change is going to, at this point, it's very difficult for them to make a change. That puts us in a really difficult box in trying to be prepared for next year. So if NASCAR is going to make a change, it has to be earlier than December. And we need to know. So at this point, I'm okay with that. But I do think going into 2010 that we have to be willing to, because now we run a full 2 years on big tracks, a full 3 years on short tracks. We have a lot of history with the car. You know, I think that going into 2010, we have to be looking, okay, what is it that we can do better without turning the world upside down? You just have to be respectful of when NASCAR makes a small change, how big that impacts us in cost and efficiencies and testing. It's an extremely expensive. When they make a change, it's extremely expensive. With the rumored testing policies for next year, our expenses are going to go way up. So if we're going to do the amount of money that we're going to do to test next year, then I really think it's important for us to minimize changes so that, you know, hopefully the testing can help the cars a little bit, but to spend more money on top of the testing would be a lot.
Final question, David Poole.
David Poole, Charlotte Observer. I'm sure this is above your pay grade, but I guess I'm looking for an opinion. Last week's race was in North Carolina. This week's race is in Virginia. Next week's race is in Georgia. 3 states that are being identified by everybody involved as the battleground states in this election that we're going on. Does NASCAR have a responsibility, or should they have a role in trying to say we need to balance who we allow come to the racetracks and campaign, or should it be up to the tracks and like a candidate to say, I want to go there? I mean, does NASCAR have any kind of responsibility or role to say we don't want it all to be to look like we're taking sides? Do you think that's good business, good politics?
That is a good question. I don't know. On the surface of it, I think what's best for all of us is for us to not make a decision until we have to walk into the booth. And I think the more exposure that we have to the candidates, the better we can make that decision. This has always been a very conservative garage. You know, if you think about the politicians that have come, they typically have been conservative politicians. But I don't know I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
Jeff, thank you for your time. You've been very gracious with your time. Good luck this weekend. Next up on our press conference schedule will be Jimmy Johnson at approximately 11:30. Jimmy Johnson at 11:30. Mike Skinner and Dustin Skinner at 12 noon. Jeff Gordon at approximately 12:30. And Kyle Busch at 1 o'clock. Kyle Busch at 1 o'clock.